my youngest son actually attends classes, and so coming and listening to the whole apprentice university model was a fascinating model, and it inspired me to really get involved more there, and to really understand and sit down with the students and get to know the students. And the interesting aspect about the way the class is run is you never know what topic is going to come up in your class. So I teach economics, but we may go off on a right curve because something that was economics related took us in a different direction, whether it be faith or whether it be religion. It could be any topic that may come up that has to do with economics. And to really sit down and to understand the thinking of the students and to get to know them is really the best part of Fridays. Now, we all have agendas we think we are going to accomplish, but the best part is we don't have to accomplish those agendas. We don't have to get through every piece of information that we said in our outline we're going to get through. It's more about the relationships and the interaction with the students that I love.
Thank you. Wonderful. Craig.
So the questions were what inspired me to become involved with AU? Okay. This is probably a similar answer to many of you. Honestly, it was a single conversation with Ron Brumbarger. To hear from somebody who had finally figured out a way to educate people in the way that I had always kind of believed was the most effective, and to see it done in such a creative and inspiring way. It was a single conversation with him, multi-hour conversation, I think, but, and to be given an opportunity that outside of the framework of AU, a professional like me would not be given the opportunity to speak to students in the way that we can, and to be allowed to incorporate my faith and convictions into education, again, in a way that is not common, to me is very encouraging and an opportunity I'm very thankful for. And then, like you said, just the students themselves, to sit down in a class and to know that there is so much that they can teach back to us as the instructors. So I get inspired and motivated just interacting with them for the brief periods of time that we have them there on Fridays, that challenge me creatively, to push me. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Paige?
Well, I feel that I might have two sides of a coin. One being that I actually started teaching here after I was already working here. So my inspiration was twofold in the sense that I was very excited at this prospect of engaging with the students more directly versus just filling the role of the marketing manager. And it actually ended up being really helpful in that perspective, as teaching and being in that direct communication with students then helped me to see more clearly what it is that makes our live classes in particular so helpful, which then in turn helps with marketing. But on a more personal level, I would say that the reason I was inspired to teach, particularly, I started with business writing, and I would say business writing was definitely something I've been passionate about for a while, because as a young entrepreneur, I really got thrown into a situation of emailing clients often and finding myself, even in the fact that you have to write proposals, contracts, emails, and resumes, and all of this content for professionals, and not really having all of the equipment to do that, and realizing that that's a very lost skill among people my age and younger. And there was a way that I could step in to help mediate that, to help train students in that skill so that they wouldn't have to go through the trial and error that I did. That would be something I was excited about. And as for career orienteering, I actually am really passionate about that particular subject, because when I was in high school, I actually went through the workshop, the orienteering workshop, when it was still a 3-day workshop prior to it becoming a class. And it was something that ended up getting me on my path into marketing. And because of that, I've always had a very special place in my heart for orienteering. And so when I got the opportunity to actually teach that to other people, obviously I jumped at it.
Thank you. And Brian, since you've been teaching with us the longest, go ahead.
I'm going to take this in 3 steps, right? So first is circumstance of the reason that I'm at Apprentice University. I make sure that everybody knows I was second choice. They didn't get their first choice from the beginning. A good friend of mine was asked to teach. At the last minute, Apprentice University moved to the west side of Indianapolis. He couldn't make it, and so he said, call Hudson, he'll do it, because just say yes. And so that's the circumstance. I've always just kind of been second chair there at the school. The global inspiration and reason are 2. The first is I believe that education is not only in crisis, it's in catastrophic mode. We have watched the educational system break down over and over again. It's been my heart to engage that world. I have appreciated Apprentice's approach to create space, a new space that is not being utilized right now. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of kids that are going to universities out of high school. They're not prepared. They go and drop out. They don't know what they want to do. They pay a lot of money, build up a lot of debt, and it's just the system is broken. And so this is a great space, whether a student uses this degree as a terminal degree, and I mean that by they want to get straight out into the world, well prepared, and I call it scholar kings, ready to go, and that they've built portfolios to make this work. Or if they decide to go the professional route, they have been well prepared for the next level of academia to get those certifications or degrees that they need to get to make a difference in the world. So the first global is education. The second one is related, and that is I believe that we're losing a whole generation of young people. We are in a crisis in this world. If the research is right, then 60% of our kids that start high school that say that they have a serious faith are leaving the church, and by the end of high school, 85% are leaving the faith by the end of university, which means that somebody's not doing their job, and that's family, church, and so that crisis for me has been a driving factor of my life. And so then the personal side of it is this. Many of us have our life verses. I've had 3 in my life, and the last one, which I believe is my last one in life, is in Psalm 71. It says, "Oh God, from my youth you have taught me, and I still proclaim your wondrous deeds. So even in old age and gray hairs, oh God, do not forsake me until I proclaim your might to another generation, your power to all those to come." My inspiration every week, I tell people that the healthiest I feel is being a learner, a journeyman learner with the students. I'm so blessed to have students who have taken class after class, and they haven't missed one. I have students who take the morning class and then turn around and take my classes again, even though I only have the same 5 stories, and they just keep wanting to hear and listen to it. So the joy for me, and where I feel the pleasure of God most in my life is with young men and women who are truly seeking and trying to figure out what's next and what they believe and why they believe it.